7:45 and we've come to our favourite cafe in Kent for our last breakfast. I'm having a smoked salmon bagel and Joe's having a breakfast burrito. It's raining outside, it's a bit miserable, but you know, this is one big adventure and the sun can't shine every day. It is warmer and I'll be fueled by my breakfast, so as we climb out of Kent, I'll be sorry to leave this place. It's been great. So we're leaving Kent, Connecticut, heading back to the state park on what can only be described as a kind of a drizzly day, but we've just had our lovely breakfast again. We've had our last two breakfasts and we are full of bagels and burritos and ready to walk up a hill. We're meeting up with our friend Deja Vu and we've packed a breakfast burrito out for him just so that we can share the burrito love. It's definitely warming up. It's not as cold as it has been. We've got a 1 mile walk back to the trailhead and then it's all on. God, it was a bit dangerous walking past that shop the other day when Joel was going, let's buy motorbikes and go on a roadie. I'm like, no, we've got to finish the walk first. But I know, no motorbikes today, Joe. Another thing that we were fascinated by as we walked in was this building here, and through discussions with very friendly locals, we've learnt that this is in fact a ice hockey pitch, ice hockey stadium or whatever the word is, that was donated by clearly a very generous benefactor, but it's powered completely by the solar panels that you can see on the roof. And when I move over here to the right hand side, again, those are those beautiful playing fields that we saw when we came in. I asked about that really posh white house down the end there. Let me just give you a little zoom because it looks like a country estate. And I believe that the headmaster of Kent School might live there. I think that's what they said. Pretty flash digs, if that is how it is. We're about half a mile away from the trailhead, but it's really pretty, very beautiful walking out of Kent. Hey Judge.
Morning Flash.
7:43 on Wednesday morning, and I think it's like day 33, 34, 35. 35. Just walked a mile from the town of Kent to get here. How are you feeling this morning?
I didn't want to come back on the trail. I quite enjoyed Kent. It's a beautiful town.
It was a beautiful town.
Yeah. But the mountain's not coming to us, so we've got to go to the mountain.
We do. And what should we expect over the next few days?
Ups and downs. Excuse me.
That's okay.
Yeah, ups and downs. Just a little hill here, but they start building all the way through. And over the next 3-4 days, I think we get up to about 4,500 feet elevation gains. But ups and downs, just hopefully the terrain's nice. We don't know until we get there.
Precisely. Right, so explain what's happening here. You've been carrying this little bag out of town.
It's a breakfast burrito, and it's for a fellow hiker that we've met way back at the secret shelter.
We did.
Yeah, and so we're just bringing him some trail magic.
He's going to love it.
Yes.
Excellent. So we're waiting for Deja Vu. No hurry. We'll just hang out because he's got to come down that boulder field before he gets here.
Yes.
It's misty up here. We've come up the first hill and actually it hasn't been too bad at all. Just reminding the legs what it's like to climb. It's just like this morning. It's grey, overcast, 10 degrees Celsius, which is a very comfortable temperature to walk in. So that brutal cold we had last week has moved, and we're waiting for some more rain to come through, but it's just really pleasant. It's quiet, and after the rain the woods are very fresh. Everything seems kind of clean and washed and fresh. Joe's pack looks enormous because of the green bubbly raincoat it's got, but it's not that enormous, truly. Yeah, so nice walking conditions so far. Just been coming down a bit of a rock scramble, and you can see up here quite sheer cliffs, which I'm really happy to say we didn't have to come down, but it has been quite rocky and scrambly for the last wee while, and it's just started to rain slightly heavier, which is making things just a little bit more slippery. Beautiful flat trail beside a river. I don't know what percentage of the AT is like this, but it will be less than 1% for sure. So we're still on the path. Joe's behind me, which is unusual. And this is lovely. I know we've got some climbing to come, but it's lovely walking on a path like this. We're going to stop at a shelter, which is in about a mile's time, and make some tea, and we've only been walking for about 3 hours, so this is just part of our just relax strategy. And yeah, it'd be nice to have a cup of tea. We're walking with a new friend who we've met on the trail, who is a fellow flip-flopper, good deja vu. He's joined us today, so yeah, it's really nice. It's beautiful out here. It's a nice temperature. It's drizzling a bit, but it's cool without being freezing cold, and it's fresh. It's really lovely. And it's also lovely to be walking beside a river. So that's a bald eagle. He's just sitting there looking majestic at the moment, but that's pretty exciting. The critter count has improved enormously. Here we go. Here's the shelter. lots of green moss. In fact, Joe's almost blending in with the green moss as we clamber down this hill, and my knees talk to me all the way. It's very humid. It started to rain again, and I'm not sure. I think we've had the flat bit for the day. I sense there's probably quite a lot of ups and downs and boulders and rocks to come. Four more miles till we get to the shelter. It was lovely and flat until it wasn't. And we've had some hard climbs. We knew there was going to be some hard climbs, but it hasn't rained like we thought it might. The temperature's okay, although it's really kind of damp. And with 4 miles to go, the end for the day is within sight. So I think we're going to pitch our tent. Definitely looking forward to something hot for dinner because I'm a bit cold. And Joe's still promising me a cup of tea. Haven't seen one yet, but I'm confident that will happen. It's very green. It's very, very green here. And you can see that the woods are really coming alive. It's one of these squeezy things where you've got to squeeze through the rocks. I'll need both hands for this. Less than a mile from the shelter, and doing the last bit of clambering and rock hopping before we finish for the day. 17 miles. Oh, I better put this down. That's a mighty good sight. We've been walking a long time today. It was 17 miles from the start of the trail that we started today to the shelter, but it also was a mile from the city to the start of the trail, so all up about an 18-mile day. I think there's quite a few people coming here tonight. We bumped into a surprising number of section hikers and people, so it's good to have got here reasonably early so that we can pick where we're going to stay. That's the little shelter that you could stay in. There's a privy, long drop. There's a bear box. There's water close by, and we're just going to go on the quick hunt to go and have a look at what is the flattest campsite for us to pitch our tent. Ooh, and nice and soft and mossy too. What do you think?
Yep.
Oh, yay. Good morning, Chad. Were you just going to ask me how your pack's looking?
Yeah, I was just going to ask, was it balanced from the back?
Turn around and let me have a look. Yeah, it looks good. In fact, the great thing about Charge's pack this morning is that he doesn't have that big sun range thing on it and making it look like a big green bubble. But it's 7 minutes past 6. It is Thursday morning, I think. And we are on the road after, well, I had a really great night's sleep in the tent last night. So we'll stop in a wee bit and have a chat with Charge about what the plan is. But the weather's pretty good. It's not raining today, so no raincoats. The hardest part of the morning so far is that yesterday we had to wear our raincoats all day and it got warm, so we all sweated through our clothes, which don't dry overnight, so we all had to put, me and Joe had to put wet clothes on this morning. That's pretty horrendous. But we'd done quite a, well, scary is probably not the right word, but we'd done a river crossing yesterday, that fast moving water mid-shin And so my shoes and my socks are completely soaked wet as well. So there was a lot of wet clothing to be put on this morning. But the temperature this morning's great. It's a bit overcast, but the forecast's for a bit of sunshine. So things are definitely warming up. I'll get back to you later. Bit of climbing this morning, as you would expect, because this is the Appalachian Trail and there are rocks around, and then consequently we need to climb over those rocks. But the sun's coming out. It's a lovely morning. The birds are tweeting, and we're about maybe an hour and a half in. Great temperature. My sweaty clothes are slowly drying, but my feet continue to be wet and disgusting. But that's all part of embracing the suck. So I'll report back, but it's a lovely day. It's beautiful, and it really feels like that horrendous freezing cold weather that we've been living through for the last 5 weeks is finally departing. I've come out of the hill, the woods, and I think there's a car racetrack down there. I think our hosts at dinner the other night were telling us that this could be Lime Terraces or Lime somewhere, where there are car racing. Oh yes, Paul Newman's raced there, and lots of famous people. And in fact, I can't get a really good look, but it appears that there's some really big and extremely smart houses around on the hills. Hey, Connecticut. That's way better. Not in the shade anymore. Good morning, Charge.
G'day, Flash.
It's turning into a really lovely day.
It is. Sun's out, it's not raining, very little breeze.
And we're not going to sweat through all our clothes today.
Yeah, that was ugly yesterday.
Oh, it was ugly putting those clothes back on again this morning. What are we thinking the plan's going to be today?
Well, in about 4 miles time, we've done 4 miles, 2 hours, so it's a little bit slow, but okay. There's a little town, and there's a bakery sandwich shop. It's about 0.2 of a mile off trail, so we might just go and have a look.
Do they have coffee, do you think?
Coffee and sandwiches, honey.
Sounds like a fine idea. I think we should just make little plans, lots of little plans for the day. So we'll get there, have a coffee, and then work on the next plan.
Yep.
What a good idea.
The shelter that we're going to go to is 18.5 miles in total, so 14 and a half to get to that town. Once we come out of it, we'll have just under 10 miles to do.
Yeah, perfect. Fueled by sandwiches. Awesome. Oh, look at that. So Charge. That's a bit exciting. How many miles have we walked then?
Coming up to 500.
Nearly 500. 500 down, 700 to go. Out of the woods, into a field. You're never quite sure where you're going to end up. Well, I suppose if I looked at the map a lot closer, I might be able to work out where I'm going to end up. But the terrain changes constantly. And when it does, it kind of keeps it interesting, because walking all day with the same terrain can be, okay, it's mentally hard work. But we've had lots of variety recently. Falls Village. I believe there are some great falls around here. We are currently looking for coffee. Joe's in charge of, Joe's leading the charge with directions.
That's where the other place is.
Just in the name of accuracy, I'll have to put the details at the bottom of this video, but we've just had the best breakfast at a cafe I think was called Mountain View, but I could be wrong. It's Mountain something, and it's near Falls City. Oh, I'm not quite sure. We'll put some more details. We're definitely in Connecticut. Just fantastic breakfast, fantastic coffee, and really awesome service. So it's such a treat to pop out from climbing up and down hills and eating your breakfast biscuit with peanut butter, to be able to have some eggs and potato and spinach and mushrooms. Oh, hello, Charge.
We went to the Mountainside Cafe.
Mountainside Cafe.
And we're coming up to Falls Village.
Falls Village. So if you pop out near Falls Village, make a point of going to that cafe because it was fantastic. Didn't take a photo of the food because I ate it before it even crossed my mind. Oh look, and then there were two walking today with our friend Deja Vu, and it's a really spectacular day, particularly after 2 coffees and spinach and eggs. Just walking past the Housatonic Valley Regional High School. It's a pretty flash building. Beautiful trail at the moment. Leaves underfoot, pine needles. Little hill, but no big rocks in sight. Well, no rocks on the trail anyway. I'm sure it won't last long, but we'll savour it while we can. Look at that beautiful house over there. Gorgeous lawn, beautiful house. There's something really odd about being where you feel you're isolated in the woods, and all of a sudden you pop out onto a road and there's a lovely house with manicured lawns. And in fact, you're fooling yourself, you're awfully close to civilization. Okay, the recording light is on. If I just come to the left of Charge, and you look down the path in front of us, the trail in front of us, it's flat. It's flat and it's beautiful. I haven't got one around me, but I'll take a photo of it. They're wheelchair accessible signs. In fact, there's probably one right there, which is indicative of the kind of terrain that we've got along here. It's flat and it's a blessed relief, is what I would call it. part of Connecticut that some of our friends mentioned, just saying there are some really beautiful houses up here and just down to this gorgeous creek. Oh, look at this. This is beautiful. This is the falls. It's 12:30 and we've walked just over 12 miles. We've got another 7 miles to go before we get to our shelter for the night. And Connecticut is a really, really pretty state. We've had so much variation today, from waterfalls to amazing breakfasts to steep hills, rivers, beautiful flat paths. It's been great. So 7 miles should allow us to get to the shelter mid-afternoon. And Chad, you're pointing in that direction. Are you pointing at the steep hills up there? Oh, so there's some steep hills over there, which we're going to go over. I mean, that's always the way with the AT. What you do is you just look around for the biggest hill and basically understand that you're going to be going over that. But we'll get to camp mid to early afternoon, which is fantastic because we get to settle in, drink tea, and just relax. The perfect day. There's Charge standing beside Thumb Rock. Oh, why did Thumb Rock have to be at the top of a steep hill? Everything is at the top of a steep hill. You're quite right, Charge. There's a raccoon. Oh no, Joe scared the raccoon away by making big whistling noises. Goodbye, raccoon. Oh, whoa. It's been a really big day today. We've just done a 3.5 mile climb up a hill that turned into another hill, But we're almost at the shelter. And the shelter that we're going to is right up on the top, is famous for having a really beautiful view. So it's going to be worth it once we get it. So 19 miles today, I think. Nearly 19 miles. And a bit of everything. We're nearly there. I'm definitely ready to be finished. But Connecticut has really delivered today. It's been fabulous. That is a very happy sight. Fantastic. Going to go and get our water and then we're going to go and set up camp. Whew. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the view that we've climbed for this morning, this all day. Apparently the sunrise is amazing, and if I come all the way around and come around to see the little shelter there. Let me just zoom out so you can see it. It's a lovely little shelter. We're going to camp. But oh my goodness me, it's just so good to be here. Such a relief. And Connecticut, yeah, I've loved Connecticut. It's beautiful.